Now, I saw this question and I had a mild heart attack. What's your opinion on having an HA solution between two separate public clouds? Because it all depends on how you define HA in this scenario. If it's application high availability, that's one thing. We can have a conversation about that. If you're thinking about doing something like splitting an HA firewall pair and putting one in Amazon and one in Azure, yes, as Nick's right. No, we would never do that. That's what gave me the heart attack.
Can
So
I
I'm
use
going
the
to
third
assume.
don't?
I'm assuming what we're getting at here is high availability of an app, and you're going to use two separate public clouds to do it in some way or another, whether that's AWS, Azure kind of clouds, or whether that's DigitalOcean kind of clouds. I'm not sure, however we define that, but.
Well, this is how Netflix works. Let's be realistic. It's not different public cloud providers, but it's different Amazon regions. The trick is that you have to have the proper application architecture. So if you have the proper application architecture and you have distributed database with eventual consistency and two-way replication, and conflict handling and all that good stuff, then yes, it works. If you think you'll take your enterprise replication stack and just spill it over into two clouds, I wish you good luck.
Yeah, there's a big gotcha in this one, right? It's the synchronization of whatever the two sides are that they need to know about each other, right? And so you have to, if you have something in AWS and something in Microsoft one,
but doesn't matter where.
Right, it doesn't matter where it is. It's something else, right? You have to have that back-end synchronization so that the high availability knows which one's up, which one's down, and then shared state between the two.
Yes.
To me, it feels like you figure that part out. What's that?
Don't share state.
You have to share knowledge.
Yeah, but you have to have eventual consistency. The moment you start sharing state, you just kill everything.
I think the net here, and it's the same thing that we had on every other of these conversations that was the same, is if you're the network hammer, don't try to solve everything with a network hammer, I guess, right? If this is done in an application, cool, great, good. Routing is routing. Let's just stick with us.
Eric or Denise, anything to add to this?
I've had a customer that we had to kind of talk out of that scenario because they wanted to bring up two different clouds, in this case, Cloud Center and AWS for their Gov clouds. And it was like what you were saying, you have to have both of them kind of synchronized. And so we kind of, in our solution for the on-prem, because it was a government, client, their production equipment was high availability. Everything was duplicate. You've got the Cloud Center Manager and the orchestrator, but the pieces that were going towards AWS, we left that as its own separate entity. So it wasn't the full high availability like what is the question here. So it's just a matter of getting both of them synchronized, and I don't think you'll be able to do it. Not in this case.
I think it's a problem we need to solve. What's being marketed marketed out there is for, hey, use the clouds, multi-cloud, have load balance between them, move your load, your workload here and all around the place. It'll all work, we promise. But it's a problem we have to solve, especially for people who are going completely cloud. They're not going to want to go all the same one like Netflix. They're not going to have the bargaining power with Amazon. Probably comes back to things that we've been talking about already. Number one, don't. And number two, make sure you plan really, really well if you're going to.